Hey, this video is on integrating ELA into PE, enhancing literary skills through physical activity. My name is Megan McCraney. I just finished my 12th year teaching at a 3rd through 5th grade elementary school in Middle Georgia. I'm working on my doctorate in curriculum and instruction. I have my specialist in curriculum instruction. My master's is in kinesiology, and my bachelor's is in health and physical education. So why would you want to integrate ELA into PE? Well, cognitive and physical development go hand in hand. When students are learning ELA or other content areas and they are physically moving at the same time, it helps students make that information concrete. It enhances student engagement and motivation, provides a multi-sensory learning experience, and it reinforces classroom learning in a fun, active environment. This shows the kids that we don't just have to learn by sitting in our desk in our homeroom teacher's room. We can learn wherever we are in whatever setting, and it doesn't have to be as formal as writing an essay. For 3rd through 5th grade especially, the key ELA skills to reinforce are phonics and word recognition, vocabulary development, comprehension skills, listening and speaking skills. And for me, the only part of ELA that I hadn't really been focused on was the phonics and word recognition, because I use vocabulary in my PE practices. Comprehension skills, if I have a lesson closure, I aim for a DOK level 3 question, a depth of knowledge level 3 question. Level 1 would just recite. Level 2 is more than just a simple definition. Level 3 is applying what you know. And then listening and speaking skills, we cover that with our help as well as some PE. So one of the games, we've got 5 games for you. One game is word relay race. The objective is to enhance vocabulary and spelling skills. So you can have index cards with vocabulary words, and you need cones for this. You divide your student into teams. Your cones are in a line to mark the relay path. So whichever path you want to make. I didn't do a graphic because this is as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. You make the path with the cones, and at each cone you have an index card with a vocabulary word. Each student runs to a cone, reads the word, spells it out loud before running back and tags the next team member. The first team to finish the relay correctly wins. This can be very, very simple, and you can take this format, and instead of an index card with a word, you can change it to so many different things. It doesn't have to be ELA. You can have them read, but the content they're reading may be science vocabulary. It could be social studies. It doesn't have to be ELA or sight word. It could be flexibility. It could be cardiovascular endurance. Some of those things with some of our 5th graders, but I would not start off with doing that with 3rd grade. I would start off easy with some vocabulary words or sight words for them. Game 2, phonics hopscotch. You reinforce phonics and sound recognition. You need sidewalk chalk or phonics flashcards. For me, we have done this outside. We also do this inside. You would use the chalk to draw a hopscotch grid with numbers on the ground. I put tape all over the gym floor. We have the soft rubbery floor. I can use masking tape or floor tape, and either work great. Place a phonics flashcard, so CH, the SH sound, TH, on each number. And so students hop through the grid saying the sound or word that starts with the sound when they land on each number. What that means is if I jump on CH, then I have to say ch, or I say child. For advanced practice, your students can create sentences using words with the target phonics sound. This is obviously phonics rich here. This is a game that they can play in the classroom as well as in PE. I would use this as a warm-up game. I have used this as a warm-up game. I have not used this as the content of an actual lesson that I'm doing, but just an easy way to integrate, get them moving, and more of a warm-up for me. Story walk is one of my favorite things to do when it's usually a second semester before testing, but I'm seeing some behaviors that I don't really appreciate. We've already talked about, and this is a different way to address those behaviors in a way that helps all the students, not just the students who need that addressing. This is not just a blanket statement like, no, don't do things. This is still beneficial for everybody in the room. So the objective is improve comprehension and sequencing skills. Materials, a short story divided up into parts, printed on large cards. Okay, for me, I just have a book, and I take out and print some of the pages on one large page. For us, it's more of a poster, but I place parts of the story around the gym. Students walk or run to each part, read it, remember what's happening, and after reading the parts, they got to retell the story in the correct order. For me, the story that we read is about inclusive actions in PE. I can find, we'll either do a read aloud or this game right here to address our students who are just, for lack of better words, aggravated, frustrated with some of their classmates. Maybe they spent too much time together. I realize the things that are aggravating them are things that the student who is performing that behavior, they can't really control. So just understanding that some people are going to act differently than us, make sounds differently than us, and that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with that person, but there's some things that we can just roll off our back. So for this, that's when I plug in, okay, we're inclusive, and just kind of bringing in some social and emotional learning in addition to the ELA. Alphabet scavenger hunt. I have letters that I've printed out that looks like Scrabble. They have a letter on each piece and a number for points. The objective of this game is to enhance letter recognition and vocab. You can have an alphabet card, various objects that you need. You could use Scrabble if you have access to a bunch of Scrabble games and Scrabble letters. I have printed them because it was easier for me to grab and just reprint versus keep buying tiles of Scrabble. But you hide the alphabet cards and objects or whatever you want around the play area. Divide students into 2 groups or multiple groups. So I start with this half of the gym versus this half of the gym, and we've gone all the way into just find a partner. You and your partner are competing. Each group find an object that starts with the letter on their card, and then groups present their findings and say the name of the objects, reinforcing the vocabulary. What I've also done is no objects, just letters, and change the way, put all the letters in the center of the gym, and students can use different locomotive skills that I announce to get to them. So walk, obviously, is the first one. Then I would go skip, or maybe crab walk. Just different kinds of locomotor movements to get to the letters. You can grab one, you bring it back, you add it to whatever you have, and you have a time limit. Whoever has the most words or the longest word gets points. And that's another way to play this game. Our 5th and final game, synonym, antonym, freeze tag. You build vocabulary and understanding of synonyms and antonyms. The materials you need are synonym and antonym word cards. You choose 2 students to be it and give them the word cards, one with a word and the other with its synonym or antonym. When the students get tagged, they need to freeze. And to be unfrozen, a classmate must correctly provide a synonym or antonym for the word on the card. This is a very easy instant activity that we play. We do all sorts of tag games for our instant activity. Noodle, we take a pool noodle, cut it in half. Those are what we tag with. We're not hitting people. We say to tag on your back or arms and legs, but we try to help everybody understand that we're not trying to hit anyone in the face, anyone in the head, and anyone in the front of their body. Integration tips. Collaborate with ELA teachers to align activities with what they're currently doing. It doesn't matter if you're working on phonics and they've already gone over phonics, or phonics is something they'll cover later. It's not going to hurt them, but it does help when you are reinforcing what's going on in the classroom at the same time. So you can use PE time to reinforce weekly spelling or vocab words, encourage students to reflect on the games and discuss how they relate to their ELA lessons, and then adapt your activities based on what your students need and the progress that they're making. If you can identify a small group of students who are really struggling with just the phonics piece, they can play this game, our phonics game, as an instant activity while everybody else does something slightly different. Or maybe you realize we have 60 kids in the gym, 15 of them are struggling with phonics. Well, then it's time that we all do our phonics instant activity, not as a punishment, but just to help reinforce for those 15 kids who really could benefit from it. For assessment and feedback, observe and take notes on student participation and performance. You can provide immediate feedback during the activities. If you see that somebody's reading a card wrong or performing the skill in a different way, it's best to immediately provide that feedback in a positive way. So we sandwich that with, hey, I like that effort you're putting in. I like to say their name too. Hey, Sally, that's really good effort. But next time, try to jump off of one foot, land on 2 feet, and then stick around to watch her do that and compliment her again. That's the piece that really takes it to the next level. Saying their name, waiting for them to fix it, and then congratulating them or acknowledging that they have fixed it. Use informal assessments like verbal quizzes or quick write-ups after a game. I usually have a lesson closure like I was talking about earlier, and then gather student feedback to improve and adapt activities. That's one of the things I like to do at the end of a unit anyway. A little Google form that if they want to fill it out, they can. If they have strong opinions, they will. And if they don't, then it doesn't really matter. It won't change what I receive on the feedback. So if they're interested, they have the option to tell me what they liked and what they disliked, and it helps me know and have that input when I go to make decisions later. Addressing diverse learners. I modify activities to ensure all the students can participate. Sometimes we have students who are in a cast, students who are wheelchair bound, and I make sure that everyone in the gym has the accessibility to participate to the best of their ability and to succeed in whatever we're doing. I use visual aids and prompts for ELL students, but really that helps for all students, especially 3rd through 5th, and then offer additional support and challenges as needed. Some of mine are GTE especially. They are ready, they are eager to learn, they are wanting to be the fastest and get it done, so sometimes they miss the whole concept, especially when I bring in some content. But when they do listen, then it may be that they need a challenge in addition to the task at hand. BES, I cut the heads off of these kids, but you can see where we took our Scrabble cards and they made words and counted up all their points. And so these were 4 students. 2 of them were GTE kids, which are gifted and talented education. And so they were able to say, no, I've played Scrabble before. This is how you do it. The AT, ICE, and TADS. Then you have ACT and T. And so they were able to make that connection and teach other kids in their group. And then they coerced another group beside them to start connecting their words like they have, which I thought was pretty cool. And finally, I am, again, Megan McCraney. You can reach me at this email, megan.mccraney@hcbe.net if you have any questions. Thank you so much.